Alright, what's going on, my fellow Asgardians? DB here, bringing you another devlog. So in this video, I'm going to be covering the development cycle for Demo V3. At the time of making this, it's actually post-Halloween minigame, but there's some great clips, some great content that we recorded during that phase. And I feel like it's a good insider's look on the debugging process, some of our modular systems, and just how we make things weeks in advance before we actually showcase them, or we plan updates 3 weeks in advance before we actually implement them. And I do hope you guys enjoy this type of content. If you do, make sure you hit like or comment, that way we could track that data and keep pumping out content like this. I'd like to thank you all for following us on this journey. It's been great. After this video, I'm going to upload one on the development cycle for the Halloween minigame, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, hope you enjoy these clips. So in this clip, I was getting a new enemy to work in our new map, and after I got him working, I got bored and I decided to add in a second enemy. And it worked right out of the box. I mean, you can kind of see here what's going on. I mean, I'm sure by the time you guys are watching these, demo's been out already, so not sure what the future holds. But right there, it worked right out of the box, and all I had to do, the way that we set it up properly, was I had to just clone one of our enemies, delete the model, and attach that model, and just, make a few slight adjustments. Now, the only thing really that I want to do now is, instead of making, the gods a basic enemy, I want to make them a boss, because the boss actually have skills and a few more things that that I set up beforehand to modular to so I could, for various use cases. So they actually have various skills and stuff that they could use, and it's really easy to create skills at this point for us. Alright, so I thought this was worthy of this set of clips, basically. So I have a modular skill system that I made a few months ago, maybe weeks, really, like 4 or 5 weeks. So she has her basic attack. That right there was a skill, and essentially the way that it works is here. It's got a name, an animation, a play. Does it have an animation, or is it just gonna get launched? Do we ignore it? Like, I'm ignoring this projectile skill here. So you see there, she spawned the projectile and she did her little animation for that. So what we could do is we could easily just, well, I don't have to copy it because the way that Unity works here, it automatically created one preset. So I could just say some name, make sure that A is right, and then it has an animation, and that's all we want to do. And then I come here, make transition to exit, that way it doesn't get stuck in there forever. And then I want to set the time of it. So here we want it to run every 3 seconds. So you see cooldown time, so let's do 3 seconds, and there's her new animation. And then she launched her other skill right after. So I obviously have to make a few tweaks because I just started using this again. I made it weeks ago and I don't remember really how everything works, but I'm assuming I have to add a check for, hey, did they just launch a skill? Maybe we shouldn't launch one right after, wait to the next frame. But I think that's pretty solid, man. That's great. The ability to create skills just by using animations, not having to code anything, it just works. That's really what I strive for, and what I hope everybody on the team strives for. Everybody I bring on board has a certain skill set. You guys could see that with our models and everything, the modular village kit, and that's kind of why I made this short devlog series here, where it's just various bugs, really what's going on behind the scenes. Like, all this stuff that I'm showing, it's literally like a few weeks worth of work in a blink of an eye. But a lot of this was like made previously and just like not used, because like that's how we set it up. So it's just feature after feature, update after update, and you're just gonna see all of like that slow build up just start rushing out, you know what I mean? Anyways, on to the next one. Alright, so in this clip, what I'm testing is enemies and how close they could get. See how these guys just missed their attack? So I have to tweak the variables a bit. They'll eventually start hitting me all in unison and whatnot. But see how those guys over there aren't doing anything? So I have to play around with the variables in order to get that right. And I've got various variables. I'm not going to say them, obviously. But, you know. So I've got to tweak around some of our variables to get it tighter, I guess you could say. So like they pull in, even though there's going to be a bit of overlap, because we don't want them to overlap, because then they'll start flying up into the air again. So I have to find the system and where they get close enough where they're also not running into each other and stacking on top of each other. And because that's what will happen, basically they start to fly up. Now the reason they flew up was because of her meteor thing, but before we had that bug where they would sort of stack on top of each other. So eventually it does fix itself, which is good, but I'm a perfectionist, so. Alright, so this was shortly after Should They Dance clip that I just showed, most likely. Not sure what order these are in. And there's one thing that's pretty cool, and it's basically that boss suffers from that bug as well. But you see the boss just did like this crazy jumping attack. And that's like a fix for it, for the boss, where I wonder why she was just moving like that. Dang it, I should have not moved. Could have debugged that. I'll probably debug that now. But yeah, so essentially sometimes the boss happens to have that as well, but then they launch that attack and they close the quarters. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to do that for other enemies as well. Close the quarters, that's a possible solve for that. Casting spells from a distance, dancing, that's also a solve. But I want to make sure to track that sort of thing, because I don't want to waste the user's resources. See, like right now we have 4 enemies that can't reach me, they can't do anything. So it'd be nice to be able to track that. And I think, I'm not sure where this series is gonna go. I'm not sure how many more clips I'll be able to get, because the demo is coming out soon, in the next day or two, depending. Oh look, it started raining. Depending where we go with this thing. I'm just gonna kill all you guys. There you go. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this series for the most part. I liked the insight. I think people appreciate that sort of perspective, and all the tests that we're actually putting into this game and stuff. Without your support, we wouldn't be here. I don't think I could take so much bashing and saying, "Oh, you're the worst developer I've ever seen" for so long. But yeah, for the most part, I hope you guys are enjoying this content, and I can't wait to see how you guys feel about the demo. I need to fix her death animations. That one's for you, Atomic.